Hi everyone, it's Beth Coulter again. It's December 29th, 2010, and it's very close to the new year, so Happy New Year. I hope this past week has treated you okay and that you're not stuck in the snow or in the mud or in any of the other awful things that are happening around the globe weather-wise. I'm not going to talk about having lung cancer. I'm going to talk about things that I've wanted to talk about for a long time, and I didn't want to because I thought that people would think I was crazy. Um, I don't care if people think I'm crazy now. There are things that I've always known. I'm what they call a psychic sensitive. If you look on my other videos on my channel, you'll see that I do have some paranormal stuff. I have the ability to communicate with spirits. I know things before they're going to happen. The night before the Titanic was announced being found at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, I had a dream that they found the Titanic. Starting in junior high, back in the 70s, I kept saying and thinking that something big and life-changing would happen in the millennium, which would be 2001, not 2000. I don't know why I thought that. It was just one of those self-contained knowledge things. The morning of September 11th, I woke up at 7:30. I had a standing appointment every Tuesday morning that required me to leave the house at 9 o'clock. I woke up, I didn't feel well. The longer I was up, the more that this horrible, tight feeling, this feeling of dread kept on creeping into me. At 8:45, I canceled my appointment, turned off the TV, and went back to bed. Of course, we all know, the attacks happened minutes later. I knew it was going to happen. Back in 2005, I predicted two things that stand out in my mind. One, that gas was going to be $3 a gallon, and we were going to appreciate the fact that it was $3 a gallon, and that would happen, by 2012, that it would be a standard at $3 a gallon. I also predicted the housing crash. I kept on asking people, why is a $35,000 house selling for $250,000? It just didn't make any sense to me. It was ridiculous. Back in 1998, I was talking about how the fact that, there was so much money on paper that if Bill Gates decided to cash out, that there would be no more money, that it was monopoly money at this time. And sure enough, the stock market crashed, and then it crashed again, and then it crashed again, and, well, we all know what happened. But I foresaw the housing crash. I foresaw the gas prices. So I want to talk about what I see for 2011. And if your life is dependent, if your happiness is dependent on believing that the future is not going to be very much changed, and that America is always going to be America and the world's going to keep on moving on, I suggest that you just stop watching now, and thank you for watching. For those of you that decide to stick with me, there are really troubling signs in the future that I am looking at. The so-called recovery is like a family that has just made their Christmas enjoyable by taking out a payday loan. And their life is going to be a little rough but manageable while paying back this loan shark loan, which is what payday loans are, um, without taking into account any emergencies. And then an emergency happens, the car breaks down, the kids get sick, the wife gets sick, the husband breaks his leg and has to go to the hospital or whatever. There's no planning for these emergencies, and all of a sudden the family is behind the eight ball. That's what our global economy has done, is we have all taken out a payday loan without accounting for emergencies. Back in February, I started having dreams about twin volcanoes. One that was a line of fire in the ice, and the other that was just black, coming out of the bowels of the earth. Sure enough, there was the Icelandic volcano last February, March. And then, of course, there was the Gulf of Mexico volcano, the BP oil disaster, which was nothing more than a black volcano coming out of the earth for 60 days. The Icelandic volcano it cost European businesses untold amounts of lost revenue from the cancellation of flights. That's never really been taken into account, much less, added on to the 2010 figures, the lost revenue from the blizzards in Europe. In America, we're not taking into account the lost revenue from the people in the Gulf who lost their livelihood, and quite frankly are not getting that same livelihood back. Those numbers have not been added on to the jobless rate. The businesses that are folding are really not being accounted for because of the way that this, $20 billion Ken Feinberg distributed fund is working, that we don't have to add those numbers in. So our economy is limping along on, crutches made out of balsa wood. One more disaster and, the world goes under. We really are working with just monopoly money. I don't see any way to escape the global economic failure that is approaching us. Capitalism was a really nice experiment that started, 150 years ago in 1865. I think all of us can see that capitalism is a failing system, and the fact that it has actually really hurt other countries. We have taken what we called third world countries and turned them into little factory places, and we've polluted their land, and we've polluted their generations. And even if they did want to go back to some sort of tribal agricultural life, they can't do that anymore. Climate change is a hot topic issue at the moment. Let's get real. These blizzards, this ultra cold weather, is not proof that global warming is a fraud. It is proof that, number one, climate change is real. I said back in 2000 that we had gone beyond the tipping point, that enough Arctic ice had melted that basalt, dark rock, the oldest rock on Earth, basalt, was soaking in the sun's rays, heating up and melting the ice at a faster rate than what the scientists were predicting. That we had gone beyond the tipping point, that we were going to look at rapid climate change. I kept telling people you might want to move north. That was before BP had their little disaster and decided to use all of this unknown chemical called Corexit. And for some strange reason, it's now apparent that the Gulf Loop current, which is just part of a global temperature transfer current in the oceans, has now been broken and it's stalling out, which means that the UK is no longer getting the warm current coming up from the south, which keeps their temperatures relatively, moderate and mild during the winter months. That's why they're getting these snowstorms. It's why, Central Park had a record-breaking blizzard the day after Christmas. It's why we had, 12 degrees in southeastern Pennsylvania in mid-November, which is absolutely unheard of. Global climate change is happening. We are looking at a mini ice age because of this stalled loop current, and I don't know how it gets fixed. When the oil spill happened on April 22nd, I said they killed the world. You kill the oceans, you kill the world. I saw very, very bad things happening from this, and as me and my small circle of warrior friends keep attesting, it's not over. The oil spill is still affecting the Gulf region and will for years and decades to come. They killed the ocean. I don't know how human life can exist on this planet. So people keep on talking, as we're entering 2011, about the Mayan calendar ending on December 21st, 2012. I'll tell you the one thing I know absolutely for certain about the Mayan calendar ending on December 21st, 2012. That date will happen. It will come. There's no magical way that it's going to skip from the December 20th to the 22nd. There's no magical way it's going to skip from 2011 to 2013. December 21st, 2012 will come. And that's really the only thing I know. But I do know that if we keep going the way we're going, we're not going to survive. There is a mass extinction in our foreseeable future. We need to change the way we are living, and we need to do it drastically. So for the new year, I offer you a gift. I would like you to find these books. Ishmael by Daniel Quinn. A sequel, My Ishmael, again by Daniel Quinn. And Beyond Civilization. These books are how Mother Culture has brainwashed us into believing that this is the only way to live, and makes us look at the fact that there were human societies that existed for tens of thousands of years successfully without killing the earth. And the white man, civilization, has, in a short 300 years, destroyed our ability to care for ourselves and be good stewards of Mother Earth. If you read these books, it might give you an idea on how we can save the world. In fact, that's the way these books start, is these people see an ad that says, teacher seeking pupil must have earnest desire to save the world. Um, by reading these books, I took on a challenge to let 100 people know that there's a new way to live, and give them the ability to learn what I've learned. Please read these books. Um, please be friends of Ishmael. Um, I wish you great good luck in 2011. Um, thank you for, your kind wishes. Thanks to you who have helped me out so much, especially my West Coast sisters in both Oregon and Washington State, who have ensured that I stay nice and toasty this very cold winter, by sending me a ceramic heater and a feather quilt that I can wrap up while I'm sitting in my chair watching TV. And I can still keep my electric down low, because the ceramic heater points right at me and takes the chill off, and I'm happy. All right, Happy New Year once again, and thank you for watching.